Hi everyone, this is Lilimar sending you all big hugs from Los Angeles, California. We hope that everyone is safe at home and that you're all going through this very difficult time in the best way possible. But I am here to bring some excitement though. I want to welcome you all to another episode of Goleadoras ALL STARS, and today we have the honor of having a very special guest who's chatting with us from New York City, Melissa Ortiz. Hey! Hi, Melissa.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Saludos from New York City,
So-
the very concrete jungle.
Yeah, I mean, so for everyone that doesn't know, Melissa is a Colombian American star of women's soccer or football. She represented the Colombian team in the U20 World Cup in Germany in 2010 and the London 2012 Olympics. She is a businesswoman, a sports presenter, activist, has a master's degree in business and marketing, excuse you. Melissa is a true inspiration for many, many women, and I'm very, very honored to be chatting with you today.
Thank you. Likewise, Lilimar. Thank you for having me. And I'm excited not only just chat about myself, but about you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. But I mean, first of all, how are you dealing with quarantine and the whole situation? Quite fun.
Yeah, I spent the first almost 4 months here in New York City in quarantine. And that was quite difficult because not only was New York City the epicenter, but also because New York City apartments ain't big and it's very small. So yeah, so it was pretty challenging, like, because I'm someone that's very active and I need to like just get out my energy.
Right.
You know, now that I don't play competitively anymore, it's like, okay, it's either I go play soccer or I go work out. So like I'd have to work out literally like next to my kitchen and whatever. So, but then the last month I went down to Florida to stay with my family, and I just got to New York like this week to get back a little bit more into like the hustle and bustle again.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. That's nice that you were able to find at least like in your kitchen a form to stay active. Because I'm sure going from, being able to freely train all the time and work out and just stay active to now being in a cooped up in a New York apartment, because I know how everything is so tiny. Same here, but it's not great. It's not great.
No.
The space is not the best to deal with.
I know.
You did mention Florida. So if we're starting from the beginning, you were born in Florida, but you visit your family's home country, Colombia, very often, obviously not during these times, but you're quite connected to your roots. In fact, you speak Spanish very well. I would love to ask you, I don't know, what is something that you really like more or kind of really vibe with in the States versus something that's very unique and you really like back in Colombia?
I've always told people this, like, it's like I'm too Colombian to be American, to be considered American, but I'm like too American to be fully Colombian. It's like you're in this mix, in this lingo, and I feel like as a dual citizen or first generation immigrant of this country, many people, maybe like yourself or family members, are just like that. Mm-hmm. And I always felt that way. I appreciate the fact that I am American. I love the fact that in the USA you have endless opportunity and possibilities. And I'm very grateful for the path that living in this country and being American has provided me and my family. When my family arrived here from Colombia, they started out from nothing and they were able to become successful from hard work. And that's something that I really appreciate about the US. Now, Colombia though, and it's always sticks with me and my roots. Although I was born in South Florida is very much, Latino. And and my weekends are like early mornings, always until to this day. Like literally the other day I was at my house in Florida. I just got to New York, but it's always like either arepas, chocolate, salsa playing in the background. My dad, that's the first thing he does. So it's like the culture is ingrained in me and I love it. And I miss going to Colombia because it was also a big part of my childhood.
Yeah, no, I feel it for sure. I mean, I wasn't born in the States, but I've grew up here since I was 6. So it's just kind of, you get into the flow of things and you appreciate how everything here, gives you the opportunity and inspires you to work hard and just motivates you to really, really get out there every day. But, your family's culture, your culture, you start being like, okay, I miss it. I miss, for example, us, we're Cubans. So it's like, I miss all of, was born in Venezuela, so I miss arepas too. But my whole family is Cuban. So we miss anything that's, grandma cooks it up all the time, but it's not the same, all the delis back in Miami and all the bakeries. It's like, you kind of miss that. It's that warm feeling that kind of makes you feel like, lets you reset and be like, I got my people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So wait, I missed it. Sorry, I had like this random call coming. But you were born in Venezuela?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, awesome. So I know that, as we all know, Goleadoras ALL STARS is a campaign that fights specifically for equality for women and the empowerment of girls to fight for their dreams inside and outside of the sport. So let's talk a little bit about your experience as a professional soccer player. I mean, wow, you can say you went to the World Cup, to the Olympics. I'm sure many girls watching are really eager to hear about your experience as a FIFA player.
Yeah, I always had a big passion for soccer since I was little. I have two older brothers who always just wanted me to play outside with them. And soccer is like a religion in Colombia and South America and a lot of places around the world. And out of all the sports that my mom had put me in, soccer was the one that clicked the most, and I fell in love with it. And I really just had fun being good at something. And so I was able to grow in the sport and then play in college and then play pro. And playing pro was a dream, really. In a way, it was a dream where it's your day to day. It's you wake up, you prepare, you eat a good breakfast, then you either go to the gym or go to training. So it's an awesome lifestyle. However, but for a woman and for a female soccer player, it's also challenging. And to this day, it still is. Granted, when I stopped playing professionally a few years ago, I was barely making money enough to pay the bills. So that's just the reality of the sport right now. But it's growing and it's definitely making waves, I think, with the continued growth of the sport through World Cups. I think social media has played a huge role in it. And I think with just times changing and the more respect for women, it's exciting to see the future. But my experience as a female footballer was definitely one that was amazing. And it's opened so many doors and, brought me challenges, difficulties, but also some great moments too.
So you've said that you feel definitely proud to be a part of this era where women's soccer has evolved and, has been accepted in many countries where it really wasn't before or it wasn't taken seriously. Why do you think that's still, in the 21st century, women worldwide continue to be told that soccer is a man's game or, pursuing a career as an athlete or in sports is still, not for them? Why do you think that's still bothering us and on top of us?
Yeah, God, for the many times and still to this day that I receive messages like you should be in the kitchen and stuff like that. Literally, there's trolls on social media that do it on the daily. It's ridiculous because, like you said, it is the 21st century, but it still does exist. And I think it's part of cultures. Machismo weighs heavily on some cultures more than others, like in some countries.
Yeah.
And it's just about, having leadership and examples and an open mind that will help, navigate these people to learn differently and to start to open up their minds and accept that women can do anything. It's not, there shouldn't be any boundaries or barriers, obviously. And soccer it shouldn't be, men's soccer, women's soccer, it's a sport. And it's also really cool to know that soccer builds community and soccer builds a lifestyle, not only make you healthy because you're doing something active, but also gets you out of trouble, for kids. So from my perspective and the way that I've seen it and the difference of living in the USA comparing to also living in Colombia and having, different types of cultures through the sport, USA is obviously way more advanced in terms of being more liberal and in women's rights and advocacy. Whereas in Colombia or in South America and other parts of the world, there still exists that machismo and that sexism, that stigma. So it's just with time. And I think things like, of course, Goleadoras and many other projects, nonprofits, or through leaderships. We have a ton of now female footballers who are becoming advocates for social equality and gender equality. So it's unfortunate it still exists, but I think with time, these cultures will start adapting a more open-minded mindset.
Yeah, which I'm certainly very looking forward to. Because I mean, the more it's not even about, this guy thing, girl thing and stuff like that. The sport in general, once we look at it, it's therapeutic to most people too, not just soccer, but sports in general. And it teaches so much discipline and activity and getting people out there. And also, not to mention all the things for working as a team and being a leader and overcoming challenges of all sorts, which I know you've certainly gone through a bunch. I mean, there's an experience you had that I think was very painful that cost your participation in the 2015 World Cup in Canada. And that was, I'm sure, one of your biggest dreams to reach the World Cup and play with your team. And you guys have been training nonstop because this is like heavy training. You guys really go for it. So for those who don't know, unfortunately, Melissa got injured just like 4 days before playing the match against Mexico, and had to sit that out. But how did you manage to overcome a challenge like that and kind of bring your spirits back up?
Yeah, man, that was the most rough time of my life, I have to say. That was the only one tournament that was not checked off my bucket list to play and to participate in. And I had worked extremely hard to make that final roster, and I did. And what's crazy is that my family had already bought their flights and everything to go watch me play in Canada. It was like, I was like at a peak moment in my career too. But I had been suffering from Achilles problems, and I think it was also a lack of, how do I say, FIFA decided to do the Women's World Cup that year on turf, and turf is proven that it is worse on your joints, like it's bad on your joints. Instead of playing like any other World Cup for men is on natural grass. And so that year they decided, it's in Canada, we'll play it on turf. And so prior to the tournament, we had been training on turf for a very long time, for 6 months or so, and I had been suffering from Achilles pain. And I had told my doctor about it on the team, but nothing was ever really done about it. And I don't put the blame on someone, but I feel like all these things led to that to happen, and I think it all comes in part of being a female footballer, because granted, if I was a male player on the men's national team saying, I have Achilles issues, I have Achilles problems, you best bet, that you'd be flown to go see the best doctor, to get exams, to get a special treatment. And that's something that I wish I would have had, or that type of respect from our federation or from our leaders or doctors. And then the same goes with FIFA, of course, no reason to put it on the tournament on turf. And that's why we were prepared on it. Anyways, long story short, it was really a difficult moment for me. The day that my teammates flew up to Canada from Colorado, where we were playing a friendly game right before the Women's World Cup, I flew down to Florida right after surgery to recover. And it was very hard. Like, I fell into a depression for a solid few months. And, I tried to stay as positive as possible. I'm a very positive person. I'm a hustler. I'm a go-getter. My family was very supportive in every way possible. And I tried to keep busy as much as I could. But, to be completely honest with you, that depression really, knocked me to the floor a bit. But I got up and I recovered within the year, and I was able to rejoin the national team the very following year. And then I think it's crazy how life works out, because I tore my Achilles and I flew home. Well, that same week that I flew home, I actually met my boyfriend that week. And we're still together 5 years later. So it's it's just weird how things turn out. And I joke to him sometimes, I'm like, because of you, I missed the World Cup.
I mean, it's nice. Sometimes we have such things that seem so horrible and kind of put us down but I guess the worst times happened right before the best times. So I think it's nice to see, especially you with, something's a part of the federation and everything in the system being against you, or your body's just not cooperating with you. And oh God, I was going for that and I was training so hard for it. And then all of a sudden it's like, you see, when you look back, you're just like, dang, I grew so much. I'm doing so much now. I'm getting back into things. I met this wonderful person. I'm in a better time. So it's nice. And you are actually currently a host too, like an in-stadium host and for games. How does it also feel to watch the game and narrate it from the outside?
Yeah, I think when I got injured, that also like ignited my passion for like to be in media. It was always something in the back of my mind when I was playing, like, oh, this would be cool when we would go to like interviews at studios and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I still wanted to stay in the sport, but now that I have switched gears and I'm not playing and I got more involved in sports media, I have found a liking to it. I think because when you're playing a sport, you have like this adrenaline rush. And while there was a break in between me playing and then like working where I am now, there was a break where I had an office job, like a desk job on the computer, accounting, marketing, etc. And I was just like, I'm bored. Like it wasn't for me. And so I have come to realize through these experiences of like hosting and you know, interviewing other athletes and being on camera and having to prep, it provides that like adrenaline rush. I think it's like the pressure, and you have to prepare for it like a soccer game as well. You have to know your stuff, and then during you have to like, you know, be on whatever, if it's live, if it's not live, whatever. But I feel like it's like full of energy, and it's in the sport. So I've quite enjoyed it. I have a lot to learn and to grow though in the space.
That's awesome. I feel like I totally get it when you say that, because same thing goes with, you know, athletes as well as artists. It's like if you're used to and you gravitate towards this job or this, you know, specific chosen career that is just filled with nervousness or and this good type of rush and adrenaline, you get it all the time and you're always excited for it, and that pushes you to do better. The second you go for something a little less, like more calm, it's like, I can't be here, I can't do this, this is not enough, like I gotta go. And then it's cool that you found that mixture of the two where you're still, you know, within what you like, and it's this different perspective too that's probably just as adrenaline rush, and everything that's done live is so nerve-wracking, but it's great at the same time. But I mean, you've achieved so many of your sports dreams and also academic dreams, which is cool. And few people know they have, again, like a bachelor's degree in international business, a master's degree in business with specialization in marketing, and like you're also a sports presenter, a blogger, a businesswoman, an activist. Like you have participated in very important brand campaigns. Like I sit here and I wonder, like, what other dreams does Melissa Ortiz have? Like, what can we expect from you in the future?
I honestly think I have a few dreams. One of them I think is very much in line with Goleadoras and everything that Eglantina's doing, because through my experience, like I want to make the future better. And you know, continue to build those roadblocks, continue to build like the path so that other young girls will be able to achieve greatness or achieve their dreams through this sport and not have to go through the barriers that we had to endure. So with that being said, right now I'm in the building blocks with a few of my teammates on the national team of building something to help girls in Colombia, and I wanna make sure that like with whatever I do, I leave behind, you know, like a really great path for future girls. So that's one of the dreams, and the other dream, of course, is on the more professional setting, is to hopefully one day host my own soccer show or be like a host in a television network or something of that liking. So we shall see. I think right now I'm, you know, improving and getting there. Everything's a work in progress. So we shall see.
Yes, I love that. And I think every time I see not just a woman, but, you know, people in general kind of take that type of stance where it's just like, I have these dreams set out, I have these goals set out, and I want to see it happen. I want this to be fruitful. It's like, and over time you see them just, I don't know, I get so inspired by seeing people just really lay down the work and just go, and eventually they really get there. And it's really, really inspiring, especially, you know, with Goleadoras kind of portraying this message to young girls specifically. So when they get older, they have this ambition and they have this, I want to do that. I want to do it like her because she did it. So it's nice that we, you know, we stand here and we get to build this road, as you said, in these building blocks. So like girls that come after us have a bit more of an open path and do even greater things. So I think it's cool. It's like setting up for the future. It's really nice.
I think you hit it on the spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing having you here. So like we at Goleadoras we love you and we love what you do and we love the inspiration you bring out to young girls. And that's why I think it's so important to have this chat with you and have everyone look at it. So I, for one, am very honored to have had this little interview with you. I hope everyone got to learn something, got to get to know you more, and hopefully we'll see more of your work and you in the future.
Thank you, and likewise, honestly.
Oh, thank you. So thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're excited to see more of you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching.